We're on the Maroochy River on the north arm, right up behind Yandina. Just taken off from the Dunethin Boat Ramp, and behind us is another little outcrop of rocks, which is good to be aware of. When we got out yesterday, it was quite obvious that they were there. The tide was that low, but at the moment we're not far off high tide, so the markers indicate where they are, but should be right on a paddleboard. This morning there was a jet ski took off as we arrived, so it's probably a little bit more busy in this region for activities like that. My plan is just to stay to the sides. It's just a bit easier to see things coming if you sort of hug the edges, take the corners wide, and yeah, just not in a hurry, just going to paddle along, enjoy the beautiful day. A lot sunnier today, which is great. But yeah, we're heading down towards Coolum today. We've just found out this morning that the historic lift bridge may have been deconstructed. So if you're familiar with the information online provided by the Sunshine Coast Council, you will probably have seen a photo of this really cool historic wooden bridge with a centre part that lifts up. So just found out, and satellite images have confirmed it, that it appears that it's either no longer there or being dismantled at the moment. So apparently it's having challenges with the floodwaters when we have a lot of rain here, and the river level rises so far. So to prevent it from being totally washed away, it seems they're going to remove it and rebuild it elsewhere. So we'll see if we can find the spot where it was, see if there's, oh, we got some tourists on a funny little boat coming up. This is all that's left of the lift bridge. It has been pretty much totally removed, which is a shame because it's a good little marker along the river to let you know how far you've come. I think it's about 2 kilometres from Dunethin Rock. So one of the best ways to tell that you're here is there's power lines going straight across the river. There's also a house with a windmill over amongst the cane field. This is as far as I've been before downstream. So yeah, all new territory from here on in. Yeah, so she's pretty windy out or gusty out on the river today, being blown back upstream. That's kind of the direction of the prevailing wind. But yeah, a good thing to do is just to go into the side, anchor amongst the trees a little bit if it does get gusty, have a bit of a break, and then when it eases, such as now, paddle off on your way. So this part of the river, we're mainly paddling through farmlands. Still quite a lot of cane about, which is surprising because, yeah, sort of seems like most of that's been gone for years. But I guess that the river banks where it floods are a great place to keep growing cane because not good for housing, and that seems to be what land gets turned into here. I think we're also under the flight path of the Maroochy airport as well. But yeah, there's a lot of big planes up in the air, helicopters, light craft. And we're actually quite close to Coolum, which is where we're getting out, so that's pretty cool. just arrived at Yandina Creek, so we're exactly behind Mount Nindri now, and I guess also behind Mount Coolum. The next major landmark will be the Coolum River confluence, and we're going to turn there and go up the Coolum Creek, to the landing point there, and that'll be our lot for the day. Just after Yandina Creek, we've got an almost right angle bend here where the river takes a bit of a turn, so it should be interesting for the prevailing wind. Hopefully it'll be a bit easier to paddle again. We've had a nice little break of it, so I have been standing up quite a bit of it, but now I think going back to having that headwind again and probably doing a bit more sit down paddleboarding. We'll see. Just turned up into Coolum Creek, so immediately it's a lot calmer. It's starting to get a little bit choppy out there. Nothing that you can't handle, just sitting down on the board taking your time, but yeah, it seems like no matter which way the river is bending and winding, it seems like you've got a head-on wind the whole way. So yeah, but I think the map says it's about 1 kilometre up here, but when I looked on Google Maps, it says that it looked like it wasn't that far, so probably should be there about 15 minutes or so.